All the way back in 2022, the maker of extremely popular game, Fortnite, Epic Games filed a series of lawsuits against Google as well as Apple, alleging that these two companies basically had been following anti-competitive practices with regard to their app distribution. So the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Their primary point of contention seemed to be the fact that if you pulled out your Android device of choice, you installed Fortnite from something like the Play Store, and then made purchases within that application, Google would force you to use their own payment service. So you would basically have to use Google Pay, Google Wallet, whatever they're calling it at that point. And by doing that, Google could take a cut of that payment. So what Epic Games did is they intentionally violated the terms of service, I guess, the rules of the Play Store by allowing Fortnite users a direct payment option within the game. They claimed this allowed them to lower the price of things. I don't remember if that happened or not, but anyway, at any rate, it did allow them to keep all of that money. Google responded by removing the app from the Play Store, and then from then on, if you wanted the app, you would go to their website, go to Epic's website, and sideload the application from them. Something similar happened with Apple, but I must admit I don't know as much about it because I just don't really pay attention to Apple, but I'm assuming it was something like that. The lawsuit against Apple, however, pretty much entirely went Apple's way. However, the lawsuit against Google, very surprisingly, has gone in favor of Epic Games, with the jury agreeing that Google, quote, maintained monopoly power by engaging in anti-competitive conduct concerning Google Play Store and Play billing. Because of this, Google is going to have to shell out some cash. Google says it will pay $700 million as part of this Play Store dispute settlement. Now, $700 million will go to U.S. consumers, and $70 million to a fund used by U.S. states. So this is all obviously a pretty darn big deal, and I think a big win for consumers. Google was doing things that, let's be honest, they should not have been doing, and there will be some repercussions for this based on what they're going to do afterwards. You can see here the company has said it would make the sideloading process more streamlined. And in fact, Michelle Ramon is quoted in this TechCrunch article. Basically, what they say is, we'll just go to Twitter and actually just read the full thing themselves. The pop-up with the text that says, for your security, your phone currently isn't allowed to install unknown apps from this source. You can change this in settings. And the install unknown apps screen that lets you actually toggle that will now be on the same screen. So it's going to pop up and tell you you're, not authorized to install from this source, but you can quickly tick this box right there, and now you're able to do that. So it's no longer going to be a two-step process. So they are making that process slightly easier, which I think is a good thing. They're also changing the text itself, which will now say, your phone currently isn't configured to install apps from this source. Granting this source permission to install apps could place your phone and data at risk, which I think is quite a reasonable bit of text. It explains the situation without being, too scary, where maybe it's not going to put people off as much as it was before. And of course, now apps are going to be able to use direct payment. They can no longer force people to use Google's payment system within the apps. If Fortnite wants to be in the Play Store and wants to allow people to pay them directly, they are going to be 100% allowed to do that, which again, I think is a good thing, because this allows them to cut Google out of that process. 15-30% commission that Google takes from that, they don't have to do that anymore. So again, in theory, prices of in-app purchases can come down. Now, speaking of money going back into the hands of consumers, you did probably see in the beginning of this article, let's go back to this page, it will pay $630 million to U.S. consumers. You may be thinking, I'm a U.S. consumer. I would take my share of that $630 million, please. And you will conceivably be eligible for something. Reading off of another page here. Each eligible consumer will receive at least $2 whole. The exact amount you receive will depend on how much money you spent on in-app purchases during the eligible period, which would have been August 16th, 2016 through September the 30th of 2023. So the more money you spent in in-app purchases, the more you will be eligible to receive from this class action lawsuit, somewhere between $2 and whatever the top end amount is. $3, perhaps, for those of us who are lucky. At any rate, guys, pretty interesting stuff. Like I said, I think that this is a big win for consumers. Congratulations to Epic for one massive company for winning a battle against another even more massive company. But again, I think that the end result is good for consumers. So pretty interesting stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.